I guess I have to start with the question of how did Sagittarius Ponderosa come to be and kind of what's your process like, maybe for this one or in general?
I wanted to write about gender in a way that was different from how I saw trans stories being told in the media around me. Someone is like born in the wrong body, and then they take these steps to transition, and then they're transitioned, and end of story, and that's over. And I was like, that just doesn't feel true to my life. Like, I feel like I am sort of like reinventing gender in every space that I'm in and every time that I talk about myself and get dressed and interact with someone else. And I was really inspired by that. And I was just sort of like thinking about like, how can I write a story of this character who is sort of like one gender with their family, one gender with a lover, when and how can these worlds meet? And then suddenly I was thinking about the landscape that they were in and all of the years of change and history built into that landscape.
Everyone finds themselves in these transitional spaces and
Yeah,
relationships. It feels very cinematic in some ways of how,
yeah.
I kept thinking of David Lynch's slow crossfades into the
Ooh, cool. Yes,
action.
definitely.
One thing that I noticed is, and I think our audiences pick up on, is that Archer, who's the protagonist, is far from perfect.
I feel like right now, queer people, trans people have sort of become this like pawn for the right and left to fight over. And so when we as artists are sort of like sitting down to write queer and trans lives as like complex, messy, complicated things, these are our messy lives. And why should we have to be perfect to have rights? We can be like anyone else.
I mean, what you said, like just making a queer character human, right? Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that is the
that's
biggest
all.
threat to, the side that is trying to erase queerness and trans folks. So, I just really,
Yeah, and when you think about like what is so an audience member who doesn't personally know a trans person, which polls tell us that many, potentially most theater going audiences don't know personally another trans person. What are they coming into the theater thinking about when they think about trans people? They're thinking about like headlines, they're thinking about like youth who maybe aren't allowed access to healthcare, aren't allowed to play on sports teams, controversy over bathrooms. And our job is to sort of like fight against that and be like, well, actually a trans person is a whole complex human character, and sit with their life and their reality here. They're more than a headline.